Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be looking at series and sequence. Again, basics. We're just going to look at the initial few questions so that you get a slight idea of what this topic is all about. We're going to look at a number of series, a number of sequences, hopefully, and we will try to solve them as quickly as possible. Now, this chapter can be solved through practice. I mean, the more practice, pretty much just like any other chapter, if you are able to practice a lot of series questions, you'll be able to identify a sequence or a series just by looking at the pattern of numbers. So in my previous video, I believe I wasn't speaking loud enough, so to compensate for that, I'll try to speak as clearly as possible in this video. Alright, let's look at our very first question. It's just asking for the next number in the sequence. So 3, 5, 9, 17, 33. You can pause the video if you want to, if you need time to think for this question. So let's look at how we should approach a question like this. So the very first obvious step would be to check for the difference between the successive numbers. So 3 plus 2 gives you 5. 5 plus 4 gives you 9. 9 plus 8 gives you 17. And 17 plus 16 gives you 33. So if we just write that down, it was 3, 5, 9, and 17. So we have our sequence of difference. The sequence of the numbers in between would be 2, 4, 8, 16. So 2, 4, 8, 16, and if you can see, there's a pattern here. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32. So the next difference will be 32. So you just have to add 32 to 33. You're going to get 65, and that is our answer. It's just looking, so basically we solve this question by just checking the numbers that come in between each sequence. Let's look at the next question. The next term of the sequences. So as you can see, these are in fractions, and the first thing you need to do when you see fractions like this, I mean, you can solve it like this if you want, but it's going to be much easier if you write it in the decimal form. So this is going to be 0.5, then this will be 3.25, 6, this will be 8.75. So if you want to check, if you want to try it out yourself, you can pause the video. For others, if you're able to solve it, if you don't have any intention of pausing and you just want to watch, then go ahead. So basically, once you write it in its decimal form, it'll be like this: 0.5, 3.25, 6, and 8.75, and the difference being 2.75. So in each case, the difference is 2.75, which will give us the final answer. So 8.75 plus 2.7, 8.75 plus 2 is 10.75, and 10.75 plus 0.75 will give us 11.5, which is our answer. 11.5 can be written as 11 and 1 by 2. So option 4 will be our answer. Let's look at the next question. Find the missing number of the sequence. So 3, 14, 25, 36, 47, and question mark. Now, if you look at the answers, this question, look at the answers. They are 1, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1, 1, 3. I mean, those don't, first of all, they don't look like suitable answers. So, but then let's not, you can actually at once mark option 4, because if you look at the sequence, there's no way that your next number is going to be any one of these. However, instead of, I mean, we should not guess, and it's not wise to guess anyways, so let's just solve it the usual way and prove that it's option number 4. So the difference between 3 and 14, let's just check it first, the difference. Let's check the difference method first. The difference is clearly 11. Add 11 to 14, you're going to get 25. Add 11 again, it's 36. Plus 11 is 47. Again, if you add 11, it's going to be 58. 58 is not given, so it's option 4, none of these. Alright, let's go to the next question. Next term of the sequence, 1, 2, 5, 26. Let's see now. Now this sequence might seem a bit tricky. If you try taking the difference, you're going to get 1 as initial difference, then 3, and then when it comes here it's going to be like 21, which is in no relation with the previous differences. So obviously that is not the method to solve this. You have to look at something else. And questions like this, in which, you know, after a few sequences the number suddenly increases, it's evident that either a square or a cube of a number with a small addition of a small number is usually what causes a sequence like this. Because look at the starting, it's 1, and the next number is 2. These numbers, if you just notice that these numbers are actually very close to square numbers. Here's 1 square, there's okay, we'll come to 2 by 2. Here's a 2 square number, so 5 is next to 2 square, 26 is next to 5 square. So similarly, that gives you a clue about what the sequence might be. Anyways, let's take a look at how to solve this question. Alright, so our sequence is 1, 2, 5, and 26. So let's just see. 1 square is 1, okay, and if I add a 1 to it, you're gonna get 2. Okay, so now let's see what 2 square is. 2 square is 4, and if I add a 1 to it, I'm gonna get 5. So as you can see, I've got my 1, I've got my 2, I've got my 5. So let's see what 5 square is going to give. I'm going to bring this 5 here. 5 square is 25 plus 1 is equal to 26, and voila, we have our answer. So the next obvious step is 26 square plus 1, which will give you the answer. 26 square is 676 plus 1 gives you 677, which is the required answer. Alright, let's move to the next question. The missing term in the sequence: 0, 3, 8, 15, 24, 48. Let's take a closer look to see if there's any sequence. You add 3, you add 5, you add 7, you add 9, and obviously the next step would be to add 11. So the answer is 35. Simple question. Question number 6. The sequence of numbers 5, 8, 15, 20, 29, 40, 53. One number is wrong. The wrong number is right. This is actually pretty easy. Just try to see a common pattern. So you just 5, you add 3, you get 8. To 8, 7 is added and 15 is obtained. 15, 5 is added and you get 20. To 29 is added. To 29, 11 and 13. So the pattern that comes in between is obviously the odd number. Odd numbers are added, successive odd numbers are added between after each number. So you're gonna be adding 3, 5, 7, 9 in between. But what happens here is after 5, 3 is added, okay, but then after 8, for some reason 7 is being added. As you can see, every other number follows a pattern except for this when it comes here. So 5, when you add 3, you get 8. But after that, to 8, when you add, you're supposed to be adding 5 to 8 to get 13, right? And then from 13, if you add 7, you get 20. and then from finally you add 9, you get 29. So if this step is correct, if the sequence was 5, 8, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5, 13. This should have been 13 instead of 15, which is why 15 is a wrong option. Just write it down. If you can just write this sequence down and check for yourself. Try to follow the 3, 5, 7 sort of addition, and you'll understand why 15 is wrong. Alright, let's move to the next question. Question number 7. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus etc. 49 plus 50 plus 49 plus 48 etc. plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to. This is just a simple question. It's just this part is done to trick you, obviously. Now this is basically following the n into n plus 1 by 2 rule, for those of you who don't know that rule. Sum of the first n natural numbers is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2. So the first n natural numbers. So in this case, we split this sequence into two parts, from 1 to 50, take it as part 1. So from 1 plus 2 plus 3 till 50, you put for n, you put n is equal to 50, and you solve it. So it essentially becomes 50 into 51 by 2. And for this next part, we are looking at, so we did up till 50, so the next part is from 49 till 1, so 1 till 49. So your n is 49, so it's going to be 49 into 50 by 2. So we're going to be we have to add these two, 50 into 51 by 2 plus 49 into 50 by 2, and this will give you the correct answer. Alright, so from this we can simplify. This becomes 25 and this becomes 25. So as you can see, 25 is common. We can take 25 out and you're going to get 51 plus 49, and this gives us 100. 100 into 25 is 2,500 is your answer. 2,500. Alright, let's look at the next question. The next number in the sequence is 2, 8, 18, 32, 50. This sequence doesn't seem to look any funny, so let's just check the differences. You have 2 plus 6 is 8. You have 8 plus 10 is 18. 18 plus 14 is 32. And 32 plus 18 is 50. So if you take a look at the sequence, let's just take a look. It's 6, 10, 6, 10, and we have 14, 18. So 6, 10, sorry about that, 14, 18. So a difference of 4, and next one will be 22 in between. So the answer should be 72. If you add 22 to 50, you get 72. Again, a very simple question. Right, the next term of the sequence again. Look at now, what you notice about the sequence is there's 8, it increases to 12, and then it again decreases to 9, and then again it increases to 13, decreases to 10. This is, if you look at it like this, it might seem difficult, but then if you just step up one step back and look at this whole sequence as a whole, as you can see, there's an 8 here and there's a 9 here, then there's a 10 here, and if you look at these numbers, there's a 12, there's a 13, 14, so it's like there are two sequences and blended into a single sequence. So you have 8, 9, 10, obviously this number is going to be 11, there's 12, 13, 14, the next number is 15. So questions like this do come, in which two sequences happen to come in a single sequence. So instead of rushing to calculate the difference and checking, adding and subtracting, just like sort of look at the whole question and try to look out for this pattern, 8 of every alternative number. So every other number might form a sequence on its own. So 8, 9, 10, 11. So your option, the answer is option 1, 11. Alright, let's look at the next question. The number of terms in the series. Alright, so they're asking for the number of terms. We have the first term, we have the last term, and it's evident from the differences between each term that we know the common difference. So the common difference here is 2. So 1 plus, there's 1, 2, and then there's 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7. So we have everything that we basically need to solve this question. So as per the question, the first term A is equal to 1, common difference D is equal to 2. The last term is represented by AN is 75. And finally, our role objective is to find N, that is how many terms there are. So if you substitute that in the equation, we have 75 is equal to 1 plus 2 into N minus 1. This is obviously the formula. AN is equal to A plus D into N minus 1. This is from the formula. AN is equal to A plus D to N minus 1. Alright, I'm just basically substituting it in this formula. When you simplify this, we get 75 is equal to 1 plus 2N minus 2, and from this we get 76 is equal to 2N, and hence N is equal to 38. Right, that is our answer. Let's look at the next question. The sequence of numbers 0, 7, 26, 63. The missing term is, again, let's look at this question. Something you should notice about this question is the fact that, first of all, it starts off with a 0. Interesting. Next, whenever there's a 7, and look at, there's a 26, and look at this, there's a 63. These numbers are very close to square numbers, if you notice. 7 is close to, okay, square or cube, for that matter. 7 is close to 8. 26 is close to 25. 63 is close to 64. So, most probably, this sequence will have something, you know, some addition or operation done on a square or a cube number. So let's just try doing 2 cube. Alright, 2 cube is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7. 3 cube is 27, 3 cube minus 1 is 26. 4 cube is 64, 64 minus 1 is 63, and as you can see we have our sequence. The next would be 5 cube. Sorry, this is 4 cube minus 1. Next would be 5 cube minus 1. And our answer should be 124, because 5 cube, basically you don't even have to calculate that, because you know that 5 cube will end in a 5, and when a number ends in a 5 and then you have to again subtract 1 from it, your answer should end in a 4. So 124 is your answer, option number 2. Alright, let's look at the next question. What will come in the place of the question mark in the series? So 2, 7, 14, 23, question mark, 47. Alright, let's take a look. This is pretty much a straightforward question. There's nothing much to think. Look at the difference. There's a 5. Difference of 5 between the first two numbers. Difference of 7. And then there's a difference of 9. So it's 5, 7, 9. And obviously the next number will be 11. You add 11 to 23, you get 34 is your answer. Alright, next question. The missing number of the sequence 0, 2, 8, 18, 50. Again, this is pretty much just check the difference. You have 2, then you have a 6, then you have a 10. So that's 2, 6, 10, and you're looking at, if you write that down, you have 2, 6, 10, and what's coming next is 14, and then 18. So if you mix that with the sequence, if you add 14 to 18, you get you get 32, and let's just check it. 32 plus 18 gives you 50, so 32 is our right answer, option number 3. Next question. The next number of the sequence: 2, 5, 10, 14, 18, 23, 26, 32. Alright, looking at this question, this is an interesting question. If you remember our question where there was a twin sequence, basically two sequences embedded in one, this is another example of such a question. In this problem there are actually two sequences and they're both blended into a single sequence. So if you look at every other number, 2, 10, 18, 26, they form a sequence of their own, and 5, 14, 23 and 32 form another sequence of their own. So basically they're just two different sequences. So look at the first sequence. 2 plus 8 is 10, 10 plus 8 is 18, 18 plus 8 is 26, and 26 plus 8 will give you the answer, which is 34. If you look at the other sequence, it's 5 plus 9, 14, 14 plus 9, 23, 23 plus 9, 32, and so on. So this, at first glance, what a common mistake would be is to assume that this is 1 square plus 1, 2 square plus 1, 3 square plus 1, but then when you do 4 square, you won't get the right answer. 4 square plus 1 is not 14. So that is one way you can check if that's the method. So anyways, this is 2 plus 8, 10, 10 plus 8, 18, 18 plus 8, 26, 26 plus 8, 34 is your right answer. Right, next question. The next term in the sequence: minus 1, 6, 25, 62, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 4. If you look at this sequence, you can see that the numbers are increasing very rapidly, so that gives you a clue as to how to solve it. Usually this will probably be involving a cube or a square number. So this is maybe, because there's a minus 1, we can assume that a minus operation is involved. So let's see. Okay, so let's try with cube. 1 cube, alright, is 1, and 1 minus 2 gives you minus 1. 2 cube is 8, 8 minus 2 gives you 6. 3 cube is 27, 27 minus 2 gives you 25. 4 cube, 64, 64 minus 2, so this is 5 cube minus 2, this is 6 cube minus 2, and obviously this is going to be 7 cube minus 2, and 7 cube is 343. 343 minus 2 will give you 341, which is your answer. Alright. Question number 16. The wrong term in the sequence. Again, you'll have to check individually, adding each number to check, doing a calculation on each operation. We'll have to check for a common sequence, and then from that understand which is the wrong number. One thing you can understand from this sequence is the fact that, just like your previous question, okay, this is our previous question, you see there's a 6, 25, 60, 123, look at this, there's a 63, 124, 215. It's expanding or exploding in the same way, which is a clue as to, this gives you a clue that this probably also involves cube or square numbers. So let's just take cube numbers for instance. Excuse me. So let's take the first 2 cube. 2 cube is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7, alright? 3 cube. Now 3 cube is 27. Okay. Now since this question does ask you for the wrong term, so there could be a mistake in our calculation. Either ways, let's just check for the other numbers. 3 cube. Okay, 3 cube doesn't work. Let's check for 4 cube. 4 cube is 64. 64 minus 1 is 63. 5 cube is 125. Minus 1 is 124. Alright, 6 cube is 216, I believe. And 216 minus 1 is 215. So obviously, this is the right sequence, and our wrong value is 28. This is supposed to be This is 2 cubed minus 1. This is supposed to be 3 cubed 27 minus 1 26. So 28 is the wrong term in the sequence, so it's option number 2. Let's look at the next question. The sixth term of the sequence, alright, so 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, dash, and 29. The difference between the first two is 2, the next difference is 5, the next difference is 2, the next difference again is 5, is 4. Alright, so this is interesting. You have a difference of 2, then you have a difference of 4. Sorry, I said 5 initially. Okay. So you have a difference of 2 here, then you have a difference of 4, then you have a difference of 2, and then you have a difference of 4. So again, you're going to have a difference of 2. The answer is option 3, 25. We'll get question number 18. Given below is a finite sequence of numbers with an unknown x. Find the value of x. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Alright, this is pretty much, this is the Fibonacci sequence. You should know the sequence by heart. The Fibonacci sequence is obtained by adding, the next number in the sequence is obtained by adding the previous two numbers. So 0 plus 1 gives you 1, 1 plus 1 gives you 2, 2 plus 1 gives you 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, and so on. So 13 plus 8 will give you this number, which is 20. 13 plus 8 is 21, which will give you the answer. Alright. So this is basically just the Fibonacci sequence. They're just asking. So if you get a question like this, it is your lucky day. Question number 19. The next number of the sequence. Alright. 2, 6, 12, 20, 30, 42, 56. Let's just check this out real quickly. Now in this sequence there's nothing really. If you check the differences, you won't get a common value, because the difference here is 4, then you get 6, then you get 8, and then you get 10, and then you get 12, and then you get some 14. So it's a very strange sequence. Now let's try checking of values of squares. Alright, 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square 9, 5 square 4 square, sorry, 16. Alright, so obviously the answer is 2 square. 1 square plus 1 is 2, 2 square is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 square is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, 4 square is 16, 16 plus 4 is 20, 5 square is 25, 25 plus 5 is 30. So obviously this is going to be 6 square, 7 square, 8 square plus 8 will give you the answer. 8 square is 64, and 64 plus 8 is 72. So it's option number 4. Alright, let's look at the final question for this section. The value of in the sequence. Alright. Missing term in the sequence. 27, 9, 3, space, empty, 1 by 3, 1 by 9. This is very easy. A lot of people will think it's 0. 0 is not the right answer. Please do not, look at it and instantly write that it's 0. Because, 0 looks like a symmetrical sort of answer, but this is not based on symmetry. 27 divided by 3 gives you 9. 9 divided by 3 gives you 3. 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. 1 divided by 3 gives you 1 by 3. 1 by 3 divided by 3 gives you 1 by 9. So each successive term is obtained by dividing the previous term by 3. So the correct answer is option number 2. 1 is the correct answer. Alright guys, so with that we wind up part 1 of the basics of series and sequences. I'll be uploading more series and sequence questions. And please do like and subscribe, share my videos if it was helpful to you in any way. Please do comment suggestions or doubts or whatever you have. You can email it to me, or you can write it down in the comments below. Thank you and have a nice day.